Hi, it's Nicole McGork, and this is the Simon Says Stamp January card kit. This is one of the cards I created using the kit. You can see the other one that I've created so far using the January 2013 kit on my blog. The blog address is at the end of the video. I'm going to show how I made this happy birthday card using both components from the kit and also some exclusive Simon Says stamp dies, these heart dies right here, and the Lots of Hearts stamp set that coordinates with them. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some white smooth cardstock. This is from Nina, and this is just a scrap I have. And I'm going to run it through my Sizzix using these Lots of Hearts dies. And I'm going to just cut a whole bunch of these, 6 in each size of these two particular heart shapes. They coordinate with the stamps, and I'm going to be using this really pretty one here that kind of has a flourish in it. And I'm going to use the chipped sapphire distress ink from Ranger. And I'm going to stamp the larger heart there with the flourish design. So you can see I'm just going to stamp a whole bunch of these. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to be using them as hearts per se on this particular card, but more as I'm going to arrange them so that they are flower petals, and I'm going to make a floral for my birthday card. So I'm just going to continue to stamp the rest of these. I really like that the distress ink kind of evens and smooths out as it dries. And it didn't really matter what ink I used here. I actually just went through my collection and found an ink closest to the pattern papers in the card kit this month that I could find. And this just happened to be the ink that I had already that coordinated really well. Now for the smaller hearts, I'm going to use this cute little diagonal striped heart stamp. And I'm going to use the same color of ink, the chipped sapphire, and I'm going to stamp all of these smaller sized hearts. And I really like that on the large heart, it's completely covered. And then on the smaller one, it has that little white border or outline on each of them. So it really will add to the dimension of my floral as I get my card put together here. Okay, now that I have those, I'm going to set those aside for a second, and I'm going to take one of the papers from the card kit, and this is a navy paper, and I am going to take a greeting from one of the other exclusive Simon Says stamp sets, and this is a happy birthday greeting. Because I needed a birthday card, I just went and found a stamp set that had the greeting that I wanted to use, and I'm going to ink that up with some Versamark ink. I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I want to stamp it so I leave myself enough room to play, because I'm going to need to trim it down to fit my card. So I'll stamp that with Versamark, kind of near the bottom. I don't want to waste too much of my paper so that I can use it for something else. And then I'm going to take some of the Wow embossing powder. Oh, actually, I was going to stamp this right away, and then I decided I wanted to emboss both greetings in different colors. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to take the Wow embossing powder, and I'm going to use the opaque white, and I'm going to sprinkle that on the happy birthday greeting, and then I will go heat that up. And unfortunately my embossing gun is far away, a little bit further away from my video camera, and so I didn't videotape me heat setting it, but I think you get the idea there. There's what it looks like with the embossing powder on, and then I'll just take it over to my other desk and emboss that. Now I'm going to take the Happy Mail greeting from the stamp set included in the January 2013 card kit. You can also buy this stamp set as an individual purchase, which I really like as well. If you don't want the whole card kit, then you can go ahead and just get the stamp set. And this one says Happy Mail, and I'm going to use some silver or platinum, I think, metallic Wow embossing powder for it, and heat emboss it too. So you can see that there. Next, I'm going to take that piece of paper, and then I'm going to take this banner die from My Favorite Things, and I'm just going to die cut that. I love that these are clear so you can see through them, so I stamp first and then I die cut it. Now to hold that in place, I'm just going to use a sticky note so it doesn't shift in my Sizzix. Because I have used the cut plates a lot, you can see they are well loved. They tend to bow a little bit, and I don't want that to make the die or the paper shift when I run it through. So I just use a sticky note to hold that in place. And there's my cute little banner. I'm going to set that all aside, and now I've already pre-trimmed several of the pattern papers from the January kit for the front of my card. Plus I trimmed down this 8.5 by 11 wood grain white cardstock to make a card base. So I'm using lots and lots of components from this month's kit, plus this cute little button stamp is also from the kit. And I'm going to use the Hero Arts Wet Cement mid-tone ink to stamp a little button, and that's going to be the center of my floral. And I'm just going to die cut or punch that out later. Now I have almost everything ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting my card together, and I'm going to use the 1/2 corner rounder for just that top corner of both my card base and then the kind of middle element of my card, I guess, or the focal point, just as added interest. Now, as I was looking at this, I decided that I needed a little bit of a border around it to help kind of make it stand out. So I took some of that leftover navy paper from the card kit and mounted the rest of my pattern paper onto that. So there's what that's going to look like. And I'm going to go ahead and start adhering all of those pieces, and then I'll put together my floral. And I did decide to take the Tim Holtz edge distressing tool and distress the edges of the larger hearts just to kind of give them a little bit more texture. I'm going to just fold, I'm going to line up my banner a little bit better there. Just going to fold the end on the left to the back of my card, and then I'll secure that with the tiny attacher. Not only does it secure it, but it adds a little bit of a embellishment to the design as well. Next, to make it easier, I could go ahead and just adhere the hearts directly to my card, but that is kind of tricky. So instead, I've punched a couple of small circles, and I'm just going to add some adhesive to those, and I'm using the glue glider to add some strong adhesive to these. You don't need a lot. I just need it so that I can kind of get the flower petals, or the hearts that are going to become the flower petals, lined up. And it's just a lot easier to work on something like this rather than trying to get them all lined up the way you want them to on your card. So this is just an easy way to do it, and much quicker than putting them on your card and then maybe having to pull them off and ripping your card, something on your card already and having to redo it. So there's what that looks like. I'll just pop that right there. And I love that the kind of flourish design then is centered in the middle of my flower. That's really pretty. I can almost leave it like it is there. That would be a really pretty floral as well. Maybe just put one of the silver brads from the kit in the center. So I'm just going to do the same thing for the smaller floral. Put some adhesive, and I'm not even tidy about it. Some of it's hanging off, but it's all covered up. You won't see it. And I'm going to go ahead and put my small floral together using the smaller hearts. This is just a really fun way to maybe use your stamps in a way that they maybe weren't intended. This heart stamp set is perfect for like Valentine's and love themed cards, maybe weddings, anniversaries, all kinds of things. You can use the hearts for scrapbook page layouts, anything. But this is just a fun way to use them in a way that they aren't a heart. And I love to find different and fun ways to use my stamps to get the most out of them. I'm going to layer that floral then on the larger one. And then I was going to punch out my button, but I realized that I was missing the right size circle punch. I have no idea where it is. I would imagine some child ran off with it. So what I ended up doing was using a button die from Paper Tray ink, I think, and I die cut it and re-stamped it. So normally I would have just punched it out with the 1/2 inch circle punch, but like I said, I think maybe little hands took off with it somewhere, so I'll have to go find it. So in the holes there of the button, I'm just going to add the little silver doodlebug brads that are included in the January kit. Again, you could, thread through some string or the embroidery floss in the kit, all kinds of different things. I just thought that this would be another fun dimensional way to add just a little bit of texture to my card. Plus, I also took 2 colors of twine and layered them underneath that button and secured them between 2 foam adhesive dots, and then laid my button on top so everything is nice and secure. And the twine just adds a nice dimensional embellishment and is just pretty and fun. It makes it a very nice feminine card, but in kind of masculine colors. I like cards like this. This is actually going to my mom, and this just kind of looks like her. Then I'm going to take a greeting from one other Simon Says stamp set and add a greeting to the inside of my card, and I am finished. I hope you've enjoyed watching this card created from the January 2013 card kit. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.